Inauguration's just 2 days away. Congressman Ron DeSantis here in the morning show. We'll talk about what to expect under a Trump presidency. But before we talk politics, can I show this picture?
Absolutely.
All right, this is iconic. Actually saw it on yours and Casey's Facebook page. That's the Speaker of the House, and there's a little one in Casey's arms. That's Madison. Congratulations.
Madison, yeah. So in that picture, she was about 6 weeks old. That's 2 weeks ago, so she's now 8 weeks old, and really, really blessed to have her. We wanted her in the picture. We didn't want to put her on a plane, so we made the trek in the car up to D.C., and she was very good. We were worried because we waited an hour and a half in line to take that picture that she was going to get fussy, but you know what? We went there, and she couldn't have been better. So that'll be something we can show her for the rest of her life.
I was going to say, you know, when she gets a little bit older, she's going to go, wow, you know, that was an historic moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another historic moment coming Friday when we swear in a new president. What do you expect post-inauguration and post that 100-day honeymoon?
Well, you know, I'm a believer that there's nothing new under the sun, but in this case, politically, this is an uncharted water. We've never had someone be elected president who had never served in government office or in the military. So Donald Trump comes from the world of business, entertainment. He's a showman. He has a very lethal Twitter account, and he's going to be able to go over the heads of the mainstream press in D.C. and go right to the American people and try to pursue his agenda. So I think it's going to be a very interesting and dynamic time in the Congress. And I think you'll wake up one morning, wonder what he tweeted, and figure out kind of what the agenda is going to be on a day-to-day basis.
Let me ask you how that, what you called lethal Twitter account, plays when it comes to trying to get legislation passed in Congress. You know, I'm sure that there are people on Capitol Hill who go, maybe we need a little more discretion to get things done. How do you get around something like that so that you can get through the business of doing business?
Well, it can play both ways. I mean, on the other hand, so I'm a big supporter of draining the swamp in D.C., doing things like term limits, having drain the swamp restrictions so congressmen aren't going to K Street and lobbying as soon as they leave office. We need to do things like that. Those are popular with the American people, but the people in Washington, they don't really like when you start talking about term limits. So using Twitter can be a way to highlight those issues and then force action in Congress. It could also be, if the congressional leaders think they have this great plan for this legislation, if he comes in with the Twitter and says he doesn't like it, I mean, the plans will likely fall apart because all of the people that voted for him are more interested probably in him succeeding than the run-of-the-mill congressman.
And I think people also have to understand you have to take what appears on social media with a bit of a grain of salt, because it's really smoke and mirrors. Because, you know, people give the impression that their life is idyllic on Facebook, and it's not necessarily so. So if Twitter and these other accounts are used in order to get a message across, but there's a, you know, a veiled message in there, maybe it's a whole different story. Let me ask you about the Affordable Care Act. The American public is very worried that it's going to be repealed without replacement, and they're going to be left holding the bag. Where do you think this winds up with Congress?
Well, there's probably a half dozen good plans that I've seen put forward. The best, I think, is the HHS nominee, Tom Price, who's a congressman from Georgia. And basically, those reforms are designed to do what was promised under Obamacare. Remember, we were promised $2,500 reduction in premiums. That has not happened. And I think we need to have reforms that are designed to empower the patients, but put a downward pressure on the prices. The access will improve if people can afford it, but as things go higher, to then force them to buy something that's very expensive to them. And of course, you have people that are spending hundreds of dollars a month for premiums, but then the deductible may be $10,000. Well, so you're not even accessing it. So there absolutely needs to be reforms, and I think that there are a lot of good ideas out there. I think every plan that's been proposed by Republicans, there's probably about 75% that is in agreement with all those. And so there's some things you have to iron out. Obviously, Trump will weigh in on what he wants to see, but there will absolutely be reforms that are advocated and put in place.
And does Madison get a picture with the president?
We're going to definitely try to figure out. It's going to be in demand, though. A lot of people are going to want to do that, so we'll see how that shakes out.
Good deal. Congratulations again to you and Casey and Madison.
Thank you very much.